on for you. That is the kind of God we have. This is the kind of God. We make one step forward, and He makes 100 steps towards us. Or as that song says, the only time I ever saw Him run is when He ran to me. We have a Father who is rich in mercy and embraces the sinner. So in the parable, the younger son says to the father, "Give me my share of the property." And he goes off and spends it wildly. Then he comes to himself. What does it mean he came to himself? It means something interior was happening. That this life of sin wasn't bringing me the happiness that I thought it would. And he's a Jewish person living among the pigs. It doesn't get worse than that. Jesus said to St. Gemma Galgani, "I am the God of the trash heap." It is often said that we experience God when we are at our lowest points. When we're in the gutter. That is often when many people hear God's voice and experience His love. And the son came to himself. He started a conversion. He said, "How many servants in my father's house have more than enough to eat? And here I am starving. I shall go back to the house of my father." And then it said the father saw him at a distance. What kind of image of the Father do we see? We see an image of the Father who every day went to the top of the hill looking for his son, waiting for his son. And the son had his act of contrition all down pat. "I will say, I have sinned against God and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son. Treat me as you would one of my hired servants." So he runs. And the father sees him at a distance. And he runs to him. And I like this line. He says, before he could get anything out, before he could get even the words out, the father ran to him and embraced him. Said, "Put a ring on his finger, a cloak on his back, a robe on his back." And he gave him a hug. One author I greatly respect, named Raniero Cantalasa, reflects on this scripture. And he says, so often we like to talk about the sacrament of confession. And this idea of saying how many sins and how many times and being preoccupied with that. Make sense? That we can lose the essence of confession. Because before the son could even get the words out, the father embraced him. Now just imagine, you parents. Some of you may even have a wayward son or daughter. And just imagine them for 20 years. And they come back home and they simply say, I'm sorry. I love you. I ask you, would you want to know as a parent all the sordid details of their life? Or would you rejoice in their desire to come home? So the sacrament of confession is an essence of no longer being a servant. God restores us to being a son or daughter. Putting that robe on is the image of being returned to God's love. The ring is an image of Jesus marrying us.